Hi everyone, this is Alyssa and I want to welcome you to my 1-hour technology workshop, Differentiating with Prodigy. Now the reason why I chose Differentiating with Prodigy for my topic is because after discussing with my colleagues, all 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math teachers, as well as discussing with my principal on areas of weakness within the school, we all agreed that differentiating is an area where we can always improve. It may not necessarily be a weakness for us, but we're always looking for ways to improve. So finding new, better, and more effective ways to differentiate, not only for support for students who are struggling, but also as acceleration for the students who are advanced. That is something that we're always striving to improve. So differentiating with Prodigy was naturally the topic that I wanted to use. Prodigy is such a wonderful resource. I learned about it last year and I can't imagine teaching my class without it. It's just such an amazing resource out there that really engages the students and allows you to differentiate for each and every single one of your students, which can be difficult at times. So if we scroll down, we have our workshop resources, which include our agenda, our lesson plans, handouts, evaluation tool, and evaluation narrative. The workshop agenda is just a quick overview of what was planned for the hour, and it was just to give the teachers an idea of how their hour was going to be spent. So for the first 10 minutes, we looked over the agenda and we asked any questions. And so that was just to give the teachers an idea of how they were going to be spending their hour. The lesson plan was a more detailed version of this. So I just took the basic outline of the agenda and I broke it down and put more detail into it. So we have the standards that were addressed, the learning objectives, any materials that they needed, as well as the detailed breakdown of how we are going to be spending our time. And then the handouts are actually linked to the handout page on the workshop. And these are just handouts that were handed to every single teacher who participated in the workshop. And so create a class. This is an example of a handout that I created for the teachers. It's really functional. It's a picture diagram as well as written instructions, and it was very simple to make. I just used Word. I was able to use the shapes to make them bright and known that this is the button that you're supposed to choose, as well as give written instructions for them. So this was supposed to make it very easy and very accessible for the teachers to learn how to create a class in this instant. Now, the other ones are all Word documents, they're Word downloads. So if you were to click on Assign Standard Base Skills, it would download down here. And you can just click on that. And again, I was able to screenshot some pictures and then give them written step-by-step instructions again. And again, every single teacher was handed these when they entered the workshop. So we also have the What is Prodigy page. Now the What is Prodigy page is basically exactly what it says. What is Prodigy? And the teachers, when we first begin, are going to watch this video about Prodigy, and it's a very good video. It's a teacher testimony about how she loves using Prodigy. It really helps her differentiate with her students, and the students have also learned to love math because of it, and that's huge for students. Math is always really difficult, and it's always been a struggle for students, and so to get them to love it is amazing. We also have our screencast presentations, and these are just screencasts that I created for the teachers. Again, just like the handouts, they're very detailed in the information that they're given. I just went through the steps of creating a class, of assigning specific skills, creating an assignment, and accessing data reports, and basically showed the teachers step by step, this is how you're going to do this. And the reason why I chose screencast as my main form of instruction for this workshop is because we as a department have talked about how we want the students to be able to critically think for themselves. We want them to be able to look at something and kind of work through it on their own to be able to solve the problem. And so a lot of teachers in our school are taking the flipped classroom approach, where they will assign a video for the students to watch at home for homework, and then they're supposed to come prepared with questions the next day and have more time to practice. And so that is the exact same approach that I took with this workshop. And then at the very bottom, so the accessing data reports, I focused on the placement test report because that's going to be the first report that the teachers see whenever they get into the nitty-gritty of everything. The placement test report basically just tells you where the students are at in the curriculum, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, and it's such a good report to be looking at and assessing. But after that, Prodigy provides a wonderful quick start guide video of the other reports that are available. So there's actually a total of 7 reports, and I only focused on one. So this video is a really good overview of the other 6 reports available. So I was really excited for this workshop because it's my very first workshop that I've ever presented, and so to get other teachers as excited about it as I was, I created a flyer that I emailed to all of the teachers, and I was hoping that that would get them as excited about the workshop as I was. So I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit so we can see it. Now, the focus of this workshop, I was really trying to grab their attention by saying, are you tired of searching for ways to adapt instruction? Do you need a better way to engage your students? Just because I know that those are some of the same feelings that I felt, so I was hoping that by putting that in writing and saying, you know, I know you're tired of this, I know you need a better way, I have the better way with Prodigy, I was hoping that that would grab their attention and make them excited to come. And then the last thing, so when we are back on the home page, we have our evaluation tool, and that's just the survey that we used at the very end of the workshop. Now, I used Guskey's levels of evaluation to help me and guide me with creating this evaluation. It is a little bit lengthy. It's about 19 questions, which I know is lengthier than other evaluations, but it being my first evaluation, I wanted as much feedback as I could get for future workshops, and for the purpose of I need the feedback so that I can inform my principal that this was an effective workshop and I can teach it with the 7th and 8th grade teachers as well. So I've got items about the overall satisfaction. I've got questions about how comfortable do you feel using Prodigy, using the different tasks that we talked about, as well as I've got a question about to assess whether or not they were truly engaged and can tell me the steps involved in creating an assignment. And then lastly, I've got improvement questions. What did you like? What did you not like? What can we improve upon? And then the evaluation narrative, I have the results posted in the form of a gallery, so you can actually just scroll through and see all of the results. Now, granted, I only had 4 people attend the workshop, and that was actually per my principal's recommendation. He recommended that I do the workshop first with my PLC, since this was my first workshop, to do it in a smaller environment first, and then if it was effective, we could do it with the 7th and 8th grade teachers in the future. So I do only have 4 data points, but overall, the general consensus was everybody was very satisfied with the workshop. They had a lot of great positive feedback to give me, and had just a few recommendations for ways to improve it. And then down here is my evaluation narrative. I hope you guys liked this workshop. If you have any questions, I'll put my contact information in the discussion post, or if you'd like to use this for your own classroom, please, please, please let me know. I'll get you all of the information that you need for it, and I would be more than happy to have you use it. Thank you so much.